Hey y'all! Guess who's back? Guess who's? Okay, I'm not gonna get into that. Welcome back to season 2. Delayed but not canceled, okay? And this is episode 1. I am Victoria Nicely, and we are here to talk about change. Shift, adapt, and reclaim, okay? It's time to go with the flow. Y'all know me, go with the flow of energy. But sometimes it's hard. And today we're going to talk about that. Change. Many people don't like it, but that is what life consists of. From conception to death, change is the only consistent thing. So it's been over 4 months since the last episode of season 1. And a bit of change has happened in my life. I've moved in with my boyfriend. So I'm in a new apartment, a new roommate. Not roommate, he doesn't like that word. I'm living with my boyfriend, and no matter, it might not sound like anything drastic, but change, even the smallest, can be a disruption of peace. 4 months ago, I was productive, I was active, I was becoming the high performance individual I desire to be. And the title says it all: shift, adapt, and reclaim. I'm in a phase of reclaim right now. I've gone through the shift, the change. I'm working on my adapting to my new place. I've mostly done that, but now I'm reclaiming my power, because sometimes when we go through change, it tends to make us feel like we have no control, we have no power, but I have power over myself. I have control over what I can control, and so that is where I am right now. I found a few quotes that I threw in that I felt went really well with the topic of change. Here's the first one. All changes, even the most longed for, have their melancholy. For what we leave behind us is a part of ourselves. We must die to one life before we can enter another. I'm going to butcher this person's name, but I think it's Anatole France. I'll put it in here somewhere, okay? But shift, adapt, reclaim. We're going to talk about shifting first. By shift, I mean a change and something that's been altered, a deviation to what you already know, a modification to something, a change in direction on your path, an addition or subtraction to your life. If someone passed away, if someone was born, anything outside of your norm, whether it be good or bad, it's a shift. It's something that's being altered in a way that you're not used to. And in this episode, I hope to shift your mindset. In the midst of shifting mine, I want to help us all change the way we look at change the way we look at newness, whether it be good or bad, because sometimes even the good things come and change our life and we're turned upside down. And like I said, most people don't like change, especially when we have no control over it or feel like we don't have control. And what we fail to acknowledge is that we have control over nothing but ourselves. The only thing you can control is yourself. So I'm not here to talk about the change, the new environment, the missing piece or new addition, the discomfort or whatever shift you are experiencing in your life, because that's what life is. Life is change. There is always going to be something, but what are you going to do about it? There is always going to be a shift in the atmosphere, but what are you going to do about it? Here's a Chinese proverb that I thought was just outstanding. When the winds of change blow, some people build walls and some build windmills. Isn't that amazing? Have you hidden behind walls due to something that came up in your life that altered your normal existence and you decided you wanted to hide away? Or did something come up in your life and you said, okay, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to adjust, adapt, and go with the flow of change? I'm not here to shame anyone for hiding. We all have our own coping mechanisms, and hiding is one of my favorites. I've been hiding for some time now. After I moved, I really had to dig inside myself. Like, okay, how are we going to get back to that high performing individual that we were, that we are, that we know we can be? But due to the change in my life, I didn't know how to get to it, because I had a way of doing things. So I had to find a new way of doing things. I had to find a new way to get back to what I know to be true, to be solid. And it's not so much get back to, it's getting to something new, getting to something that works in your new space, place, mind, in the new change, in the new shift. How can you find a way to exist and to be? So I'm here to encourage you, I hope, to tear down the wall, use what you have, and I'll tap into that a little later, but tear down your wall and start to build your windmill. Look at your experience, what you're going through, because I don't know what that change is. I don't know what happened in your life that caused you to hide. But how can you live in it? How can you be bold in it? It's time for you to identify the ways to be the best you that you want to be. It is in the flow of change that we grow. So if you got stuck in a shift and you build up your walls, are you growing? Are you changing? Because when life changes, you change. When life changes, there's an identity shift in you, because you have to adapt and you have to change and you have to find a way to be in that new thing. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Viktor Frankl. I know that name. So if you can't change the situation and you're constantly focused on that situation, then how are you ever able to change how you look at it if you're not focused on yourself? So are you focused on the situation, or are you focused on finding a way to adjust? So hold on to these three things. Just hold them as little nuggets, okay? Everything in life is learnable. Patterns in comfort keep you small. Change isn't easy or pain-free because it's growth. It's growth. you know that in life, when you're growing, when you're changing, things are not going to be the same. In your teenage years, especially women, we're growing, we got our period. It's going to hurt. They let us know that in advance. You're having a baby, you're changing, your body is changing, it's expanding. You're going to give birth, boom, pain. So what makes you think that when change comes that doesn't look like it's going to be painful, causes a disruption in your life that's going to be pain-free, it's going to be easy? It's not. This year was supposed to be my social butterfly year. 2020, I'm going to be out about doing, being, meeting, greeting. COVID said, you thought. You thought. I did. I really did. But the butterfly has been an inspiration for me this year, like through and through. I'm probably going to have another episode where I talk about the butterfly effect and how that really helped me adjust to change, or how it really helped me put fear aside, because every little step you take, every little move you make adjusts how things can be. But that's a different episode. It's beautiful. But I will talk about the transformation, the metamorphosis that the caterpillar goes through to get to the butterfly. This is my favorite part. So we all know that before the butterfly, that there's a caterpillar. And we know that the caterpillar goes in its cocoon to become the butterfly. But I wanted to look inside the cocoon. You know, I mentioned hiding, but I wanted to go inside to see what happens, you know? So one, the caterpillar has everything they will need to become the butterfly already. Two, it builds its cocoon. Three, its old body disintegrates, leaving behind what is needed for the next phase. 4, it then uses the broken body, the goo, the disgusting pieces of the old story, of the old life, of the old body, to grow wings, eyes, and other parts that it will need as a butterfly. That is phenomenal to me. Like, just what it goes through. And if you break that down for us, if we, need to go into the cocoon, if we need to build our walls, we do. And in that space, we should be breaking down our old existence to be what we desire to be, to vibrate higher. We should be examining that change, examining why in ourselves it is causing disruption. We should be studying ourselves. And the studies show that the butterfly or the moth, because those were like larva caterpillars as well, remembers the old days. So that means the mind is still there. After the body disintegrated, there is still the mind, and the mind is like, I was once a caterpillar, but now I am a butterfly. How powerful is that? Like, in your next phase, after the shift, you can still sit and say, I went through that to be this. Let's move on. I just thought that was wonderful, and I had to share it because there are so many nuggets in the evolution of the butterfly. There's so much there that we can take when it comes to change, when it comes to shifting, when it comes to adapting, and when it comes to reclaiming who you are and acknowledging who you were to get to where you need to be. Sorry, I got too excited. I wasn't following my notes, I was just talking. But after the shift, it's time to adapt. After the shift, it's time to adapt, but we adapt with the knowledge we possess, or we have the power to obtain the knowledge that we need to adapt. Like the caterpillar, we have everything we already need to be everything we want to be. We need to be, you know? And sometimes we have no control over the change, but the change, the universe, God knows what's happening and knows that change, that accident, that incident, that thing in your life, that experience will only grow you. Nothing in this life is here to destroy you. Everything in this life is here to serve you for a purpose. So don't feel like, oh, this is going to be the end of it all. It's not. Maybe it's the beginning. So here we are. The experience, the shift, the change has occurred. And understanding that we can't change the situation, but we can transition to some type of normal. Examine that thing, figure it out. Okay, this has happened to me. What's great about this? What can I do to fit in this moment? What can I do to be happy and find joy in this moment? This is why in season 1, I talked about understanding and knowing who you are. Because when change comes, you're going to need to know what about yourself can bring you joy. You need to know yourself to the point where, okay, if I don't do this, this is going to happen. If I do this, this is going to happen. You need to learn who you are, because life is going to come and throw everything it has at you. But if you understand that it's for you, it's for your growth, it's for your advancement on this earth, then it's your job to know how to move in it. Adapt to the new reality. And adjust your focus. Adjust your focus. Change is going to happen. So you need to transform, adapt, and adjust to it. Change is an opportunity to grow. Remember that. Keep that as a nugget. Change is an opportunity to grow. Something comes up. Okay. Change is an opportunity to grow. And that is literally what I have to do. If something happens in my life, okay, Tori, this is messed up. This is what I have to grow into. This is what I need to do. So I need to take this opportunity to grow. It might be challenging. I might be afraid. But at the end of this thing, I will conquer it. Take control of that situation, of yourself in that situation. Because that's, again, you are the only thing you can control. And for my final few nuggets to leave you with, look at me. Stop forcing yourself to go back to a normal that has disintegrated. Like the caterpillar, that thing is gone. You can use what you obtained there to take you to where you're going, but there is no normal. There's only a new normal that you have to create, that you have to build, that you have to identify. I'm still there. I've been in this apartment for, 3 months now? And 2.5, almost 3. I'm still finding my place, finding a way to make this place home, because I had that for 5 years. I was living with my best friend. I had a routine. We were good. And then I moved in with my boyfriend, and I'm in this new apartment that had its issues. It had its issues. Please. Anyway. So I had to adjust. I had to find a way to make a new normal, because if I didn't, I was going to be hiding, and hiding no longer makes me happy. It is a part of my old self that I have left behind. And so when I hide now, I'm like, okay, Tori, you need to find a way to adjust and adapt, because if you continue to hide, you're going to go back to a dead place. Hey, you're going to go back to a dead place, and we're not there anymore. We're not there anymore. So focus on you. Focus on what's true and watch yourself grow. Watch yourself grow. Grow. I'm like a whole interior designer in this place, okay? I'm like, I make a way, and that's what I'm learning. I will find a way to make a way, and you can't tell me nothing else, nothing different. You already have your wings. The butterfly had its wings when it was a caterpillar. Shondo. I'm just gonna leave it there. Take what you want from that. But for me, when the caterpillar disintegrated its body, the things that were there were the items and the body parts that it needed for it to become a butterfly. The body that disintegrated built the body of the butterfly. And you already have it. You just got to do the work. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be, pain-free. But you have everything you need to get to places that you desire to be. Reclaim them. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your control over yourself, because sometimes we lose that thing. And it's time to reclaim who you are. Reclaim your power over yourself and find your focus. Because the shift has happened. It's time to adapt, and it's time to reclaim your power over yourself. No more hiding. You can hide for a moment, but take those walls and find a way to build your windmills. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of season 2 of Vibrating Higher. It took me a month to write this because of change, because of shifting, because of newness. And I had to find a way to get back to what I know brings me joy. And this brings me joy. So learn who you are, know what you love, know what brings you joy, and live your best life. And remember to vibrate higher.